Japanese government set to legalize medical marijuana.
Here's a summary of the article.
The government is poised to allow the use of medical marijuana to treat patients with intractable diseases, according to the outline of bills revealed on Tuesday. The proposed revision would also criminalize the use of marijuana. Cannabis plants contain a substance that has an intoxicating effect, which is one of the reasons why the use of marijuana in medicine is prohibited in Japan. The proposed revision would enable such patients to use drugs made from cannabis plants. On the use of marijuana, there are currently no penalties for using it because farmers who cultivate cannabis with permission by prefectural governors might intake substances from the plant during harvesting. Marijuana has been dubbed a gateway drug, as it is said to lead to other forms of drug abuse. The government intends to strengthen the crackdown on marijuana to prevent abuse of the drug among young people, which is becoming a social problem.
This post received a score of 64,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Guarantee no one will even know LMAO. Korea did the same years ago, but very few are actually aware, and to get a prescription is a Herculean task.
Didn't the UK legalize medical cannabis and only like 3 people in the entire country got approved for it?
There was an MP who was an open critic of legalizing and decriminalizing cannabis, whose husband is the managing director of one of the largest producers of medicinal cannabis in the country. You can't use it socially, but my husband can make millions selling it. Edit. The MP was Victoria Atkins. Theresa May's husband did profit from the production of medicinal cannabis, but he's a couple steps removed from it, whereas Atkins's husband is directly involved, which is why I mentioned her.
Elmau. I'm a medical user in Canada and that's bullshit. And I'm pretty biased. I was critical around the time of legalization of it turning into the new beer. Profiting off it while keeping it illegal for 95% of the population is scummy though.
Even if it were the new beer, it's probably much safer than beer, assuming the age, method of consumption are at a reasonable range. Most people getting high will probably never leave the area they are in and just fall asleep there. While alcohol doesn't do that and will likely get you up to some shit. I've never blacked out from weed that wasn't just sleeping. Alcohol is neurotoxic. You can't even really overdose on cannabis. Doctors always say it's their favorite overdose to treat because they just give them some water and tell them to wait 3 hours. Cannabis isn't the new beer, it's the better beer.
The biggest negative of cannabis consumption seems to be its respiratory effects, if smoked, which are less than cigarettes, the legal consequences in prohibition states, and the impact on people with certain mental conditions during a specific age range. Alcohol is much worse in every way.
The biggest negative was always the law wrecking your life intentionally.
Separately from that, I also happened to sell pot to a few friends and neighbors. I didn't tell the Japanese students that because the time I did they reacted like I just said I gave black tar heroin to preschoolers. Those folks took marijuana more seriously than Americans take almost anything. I am very curious as to what medical legalization is going to look like.
East Asian attitudes towards weed are crazy lol. If you watch their crime movies, dealing weed is the sign of a big bad villain, along with killing kids and raping women. Whenever a celebrity is caught smoking weed, their career is basically over, absolutely nobody respects them anymore. Also, weed smokers are portrayed as meth addicts lol. In movies they'll be sniffling and scratching themselves and begging their dealers for more. And it's not a boomer thing either, the youth find weed just as repulsive as well.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.